Should you buy, sell, or try to refinance? In the current housing market, it's sometimes difficult to tell. Well, joining us now, some tips and answers to some of your questions is real estate expert Shari Olefson. Thank you so much for joining us, Shari.
Sure, thanks for having me.
All right, I want to start with one of the first questions we got. This comes from TJ via Twitter. He says, my wife wants to downsize our house. We still owe $130,000. We already have a 5% rate. Should we refinance or sell and downsize? Any advice?
Absolutely. Well, you know, Shannon, everyone's question in terms of refinancing is very situation specific. In this case, we can apply some typical rules of thumb for refinancing. The pros we know are you get a lower interest rate and you can decrease in this market because the rates are so low, that amortization period. The con, which is a big con in this situation, is going to be the cost. It's going to cost you it's going to take about 3 years to recover those costs. And with a 5% rate, it's a decent rate. Unless you've got really good credit, you may not beat that rate by too much. But here's the big thing. If TJ is looking to downsize, let's remember that your mortgage is only one part of that home cost equation. And it's the one part that's going to go away. The other parts, the real estate taxes, the insurance, the utilities, the maintenance, are not ever going to go away. So if you're looking to downsize specifically, I don't think refinancing is the answer. You need to really be thinking about when you can get the most money for the house you're looking to sell, where you're going to do the best in terms of where you want to buy again or rent, and then what you're going to do with that savings in between. In other words, the profit that you may make from selling and also the savings in the monthly expenses. Because essentially, why refinance a house that's too big or in a location that you don't really have to be in anymore? Basically, you're paying for something that you're not using, and that's the answer to TJ's question. You're better off moving and downsizing, for real.
Okay, our next question comes from Bill. He says, I want to know if reverse mortgages are a good deal or do they just create fees to make servicing agents richer?
Very perceptive question. And there are two big issues with reverse mortgages. The first is the upfront costs. They're way more expensive than a typical loan. And the second is the way you have to take the product, and it really does tie your hands in a lot of ways. You just don't know what the future is going to hold if you're an older American. You may need to move into assisted living. You may pass away. In all those instances, your hands are tied and it triggers you having to repay the loan. I prefer doing a typical mortgage financing if an older person needs a loan and can afford the payments. If you have to do a reverse mortgage, wait until as long as you possibly can to do it. One word of advice, Shannon, though, because of the problems FHA is having now, they are going to be cutting back on some of the different types of programs. So if someone's thinking about a reverse mortgage, they want to get that done before April when some of those programs will go away.
All right, Shari Olefson with some real estate advice for us today. Thank you so much.
Sure.